Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday evening, December 11, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I would really appreciate it if you all get this video to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak month of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the point in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, you can see a ridge of high pressure to the north that we know is responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And with these easterly trade winds, we have some low to mid-level clouds pushing through, some surface troughs here and there. We can see this blue spike line associated with a frontal system extending from northern portion of the North Atlantic, more so the northeastern side, all the way down. Another set of frontal systems right here off the east coast of the US, and some troughs just to the east and the southeast of them. And we see the red line associated with the intertropical convergence zone extending from northeastern South America to West Africa. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost the sunlight, you can definitely make out the clouds associated with that frontal system. We can see it right here extending from northeastern portion of the North Atlantic all the way down. Another frontal system off the east coast of the US extending down to the Gulf, northwestern Caribbean. And we can definitely make out the low to mid-level flow of the clouds being steered from east to west around that ridge of high pressure to the north. And we see the clouds associated with the intertropical convergence zone extending all the way from the northeastern coast of South America all the way over into the west coast of Africa. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Thursday, December 11, 2025. It was stated that rainfall could have been in the forecast for parts of some eastern parishes in the morning, also affecting sections of some southern and western parishes during the afternoon. Eastern parishes, as you know, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Andrew. Western parishes, you know, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawny, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. While our southern parishes, you know, we're referring to those parishes on the bottom side of the island, like Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. And what ended up happening? It didn't really quite go as planned. Not really eastern Jamaica getting on that morning rainfall, but a post was made at around 9:16 a.m. not only here on our Twitter page with Jamaica, but it was also made on our Instagram page with the Jamaica, on our TikTok page with the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page with the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we make posts throughout the day that you cannot afford to miss. So we can see the clouds that will bring some overcast skies, if not some isolated showers, to sections of mainly northern parishes. So anywhere from St. Anne eastward, section of St. Mary, maybe western Portland, that was where the overcast sky activity, if not the isolated shower activity, was located at around 9:16 a.m. Then at around 4:35 p.m. the visible satellite images were posted, and they highlighted the buildup of clouds across sections of some central and western parishes, but it was more confined to the southern parishes, because as you can see, yes, the clouds did indeed come into Trelawny as well, but look at the afternoon how they started to build across sections of northwestern St. Catherine, section of Clarendon, section of Manchester into St. Elizabeth. That was where the brunt of today's clouds and isolated shower activity were, but we didn't get that much in the way of cumulonimbus clouds. We don't see any blues, green, yellows, oranges, reds across the island. No sparkling white dots, no cumulonimbus clouds, no lightning. But we do see some of that right here just to the southwest of Westmoreland, so I'm guessing out to sea, getting in on some slightly bad weather. And we definitely have confirmation here, the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing halfway through at around 12:47 p.m. As you can see, it was a fair day, not really sunny at this point. Maybe a cloud just blocking out the sun, but people in their vehicles going about their business, people walking about going about their business. Nothing to do with bad weather taking place at that time at all. And if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. We have all these live streams for you all to see for free. So subscribe today to this channel so that you don't miss out. And even the total accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website is confirming where we had that rainfall today across section of some northern parishes in the morning, across section of some southern parishes during the afternoon. Even although it's not 100% accurate, it does paint quite the picture for you might have had that rainfall today. And we have just a few comments from some of our followers about what the weather is like in their area today. We have Active 4810 stating place cool, that was posted 47 minutes ago. And even on our Instagram page we had Marlon_OneGod_ posting some cloudy sky emojis for his area. Thank you for confirming what the weather is like in your area for today. Alright, so let us reload the very latest still image here from the Weather News website. It's already automatically reloaded, that's good. And we're looking for the Doppler radar. Well, Jamaican Doppler radar is still down. Cuban Doppler radar looks like it's still showing December 10. Today is December 11. It's a bit outdated. The Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar is right here. Is it working? Yes, it is, showing December 12. That's good. Cayman radar still down. So the infrared close-up satellite imagery right here from the Weather News website is showing 0105 UTC, which is actually 8:05 p.m. Just some leftover clouds still off to the southwest of Westmoreland. Maybe some red bands within that, but we can't find out for sure because the Jamaican Doppler radar as well as the Cuban Doppler radar and the Cayman radar are down. So we have to be dependent on the Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar. And as you can see here, the latest image is as of right there 043, so that's 7:43 p.m. Nothing across northeastern Jamaica, nothing across southeastern Cuba or the western portion of Haiti at all. Regarding what's happening now, the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel right here showing downtown Kingston, and as usual have people here and there standing, people walking about going about their business, people in their vehicles going about their business. Nothing to do with bad weather taking place, and that should be the order of the evening into the night. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Friday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 22 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Friday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Friday, and we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some yellows and some grays that represents 0, that's average temperatures, to at least 1 degree Celsius above normal temperature. We know the normal temperature for the month of December across Jamaica is around 87 degrees Fahrenheit, and when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that's around 30.5 degrees Celsius. So given that we're going to be receiving some of the yellows that represents at least 1 degree Celsius above average, we should be receiving anywhere from 30.5 to 31.5 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Friday. And we have some reposts here from my JPS online Twitter page that we have to highlight. They reposted this post from Blue Regards today stating, "Thank you for sending back the light to the good people of Westgate Hills." And they also gave an update, stated that some sections of Hanover which were previously restored are now without power following a motor vehicle accident. And the areas that were affected, sections of Orange Bay, Green Island, Lances Bay, Cousins Cove, Lucy, motor vehicle accident. Boy, it is the season when it's Christmas time. It's like the accidents just keep increasing like crazy. Everybody's drunk, everybody's doing a lot of madness on the road. So I guess they have work to do. This was posted when There it is, 11:54 a.m. on December 11. So more than likely it's fixed by now. Not sure, but hopefully. And we have some tips right here to beat the heat. So if tomorrow is still going to be a bit too hot for you, it states here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. Check on others including children, elderly people with medical conditions and pets. Be cool, stay indoors and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough the importance of staying hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water, even if you're not thirsty, and put away those sugary drinks and drink water instead. The dry air map still shows a lot of dry air off the east coast of the US down into the Gulf, a lot of dry air extending from the Caribbean all the way across the main development region into the Caribbean. The dry air, as you know, is represented by the yellows into the oranges and red. And that's what dry air does, it keeps the atmosphere stable, making it harder for it to rain. And notice where we have the clouds, that's where we have the blues representing moist air. We have that frontal system which extends down into the Bahamas, Cuba, the Western Caribbean. A lot of moist air cross section of northern South America into the intertropical convergent zone. While in terms of the Saharan dust forecast for the next 3 days, so we're heading into December 12, December 13 and December 14. And as you can see, the Caribbean should be in the clear, no Saharan dust to worry about. We have some slight shades of Saharan dust pushing through the eastern and southern main development region. We know that the Saharan dust is represented by the greens, yellows, oranges and pinks. We don't see any of the oranges and pinks, so we know that we're not expecting any vigorous plume pushing through. And we're grateful for that, because you know that the Saharan dust can definitely cause hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons. So we're grateful that the Saharan dust is chilling for the next couple of days. Regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, we're seeing a mixture of light shades of blues to pinks into purples right here across the Caribbean. They represent anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1 to 1.5 up to 2 to 2.5 meter wave height, especially to the south of Jamaica. Some very high wave heights right there, just north of Panama to the north of Colombia. And that is because of the winds that are expected. We see more of an easterly flow across the Caribbean. We see the greens into the bright greens into the yellows that represents anywhere from 15 to 20 up to 25 knots, especially to the south of Jamaica where we have those 2 to 2.5 meter wave heights in the pinks and purples. But if we zoom in on Jamaica's wave forecast for tomorrow, to the north of Poland up to 1.2 meter wave height expected, to the north of St. Anne 1 meter wave height expected tomorrow. To the north of Hanover, 0.9 of a meter wave height expected tomorrow. To the south of Westmoreland, 0.8 of a meter wave height expected tomorrow. To the south of Clarendon, 1 meter wave height expected tomorrow, while to the south of St. Thomas, 1.5 meter wave height expected tomorrow. And that is because of the winds that are expected. We can see that northeasterly flow coming in from between Cuba and Haiti, that's the windward passage. So this is valid for 1300 hours on Friday, so that's 1 p.m. So we know that this flow can definitely cause some relief rainfall, especially on the northeastern side, Portland into St. Mary as usual, as all of that air rises and condenses up the hills of Portland and St. Mary. And then we have the least amount of winds on the southern side, so that is where we could have some of these low level clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper level cumulonimbus clouds, when we have that daytime heating. So it's looking like we could get in on something similar to what happened today. Rainfall in the morning across the north coast, or rainfall in the afternoon across sections of some southern parishes. And the upper level winds for tomorrow still coming in from the southwest, so if we actually get some thunderstorms to formulate on the south coast, those cloud tops will be sheared off towards the northeast, maybe bring more overcast skies to section of some northern parishes. And regarding the actual rainfall forecast maps now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 9 a.m. on Friday. And we can see the blues represent rainfall across sections of some northern parishes. The Euro, St. James, St. Anne section of Portland. GFS more so St. Mary into Portland and eastern St. Thomas. We'll see how that plays out, but we have consensus for north coast rainfall in the morning on Friday. Then during the afternoon, interesting, we're still seeing the blues represent rainfall maybe in Portland. We see that on the GFS as well. On the Euro, we see the blues represent rainfall intersection of Hanover into Westmoreland, southern St. James, maybe northwestern St. Elizabeth. GFS, more so St. Elizabeth into Manchester for that afternoon rainfall. Very interesting. So clearly northeastern parishes rainfall throughout the day, maybe some isolated shores across maybe some western if not southwestern parishes. We'll see it plays out either way. The total accumulated precipitation forecast maps here from the Euro and the GFS are in agreement that from now up until 10 p.m. on Friday, within the next 24 hours, these areas that are shaded in the greens up to the dark greens and the yellows, these areas should be getting on the brunt of tomorrow's rainfall. We're talking about right here, Portland, the water sitting north of Portland and St. Mary. Euro going up to at least 0.16 of an inch of rainfall. GFS going up to at least 0.29 of an inch of rainfall. It could be more than that, it could be less than that. We'll see it actually plays out over the next 24 hours. And whatever happens, we just have to take it. We're in the month of December, and in St. Anne we usually receive up to 78 millimeters of rainfall this month. That's about the same as 3.1 inches of rainfall. While in Clarendon we usually receive up to 35 millimeters of rainfall this month. That's about the same as 1.4 inches of rainfall. And if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of December or for the entire year, you can visit nomadseason.com, and that website will show you that information. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go out to the next 168 hours. That stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right down here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. Alright, so 12Z on Saturday is actually 7 a.m. and we're seeing some greens represent moisture to the southwest of the island. Then on Saturday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. Do we have agreement on the GFS? Saturday morning shows rainfall across the north and the northeast. What does Saturday afternoon look like? Rainfall again across eastern, central, and western parishes. Looking like an interesting Saturday in terms of wet weather. Sunday morning shows rainfall on the southern and eastern side on the Euro. Then on Sunday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Sunday morning, nothing at all. Then on Sunday afternoon, looks like some rainfall across some northern and western parishes. Waters to our south, waters to our east. What do we see on Monday morning on the Euro? Monday morning, maybe some rainfall across the northeast, rainfall to our south. Then on Monday afternoon, we're seeing rainfall across section of some central and eastern parishes. What does the GFS show? Monday morning, rainfall across the western end. Monday afternoon, rainfall across the waters to our northeast. What do we see on Tuesday morning on the Euro? Tuesday morning, we're seeing rainfall to the north of us, rainfall to the east of us. Tuesday afternoon, rainfall across sections of some eastern, central, and western parishes. What does the GFS show? Tuesday morning, rainfall to the northeast of us. Tuesday afternoon, rainfall across some northern and eastern parishes. Interesting. Let's see. Alright. What do we see on Wednesday morning into Thursday now? On Wednesday morning, rainfall across the northeast. Wednesday afternoon, looks like some rainfall across section of some central and western parishes. And we're stopping right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Thursday, December 18. Don't really see much of anything across Jamaica at that time. What does the GFS show? Wednesday into Thursday. Wednesday morning, rainfall across the northern and eastern parishes. Wednesday afternoon, rainfall across what looks like some western parishes. And we're stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Thursday, December 18. Rainfall to the south of us, rainfall to the north of us. We'll see it actually plays out. And if we take a look at the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps here, both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Thursday, December 18. And we can clearly see that the most rainfall, as represented by the dark reds into the purples into the pinks, that represents anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rainfall, should be across sections of Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, sections of Trinidad and Tobago, sections of Venezuela, so to Colombia, Panama, into Costa Rica, eastern Nicaragua, northern Honduras, into section of Guatemala, Belize, the eastern Yucatan. We see some of that rainfall into section of Cuba, the Bahamas. Very interesting. Some of this rainfall could definitely trigger somewhat of isolated flash flooding as well, especially considering that both the Euro and the GFS modes are in agreement with that forecast. While other areas that are shaded in the green, yellows, oranges, and red should be getting on an inch of rainfall or less. If we zoom in on Jamaica's rainfall totals, we can clearly see the blues into the greens into the yellows that represents anywhere from a millimeter all the way up to what looks like the yellows, maybe up to 30-40 millimeters in the northeast. GFS showing something similar, 42 at that to the northeast of Portland. Very interesting. Clearly the north coast, it's their season. South coast, it's our dry season for sure. Very interesting next 7 days all the way up to Thursday, December 18. Whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Alright, so regarding what's happening across the rest of the Caribbean, as stated, there are some low level to mid level clouds pushing through from east to west. Some of these clouds stretching from the Windward Islands into Puerto Rico. If we take a look at the Doppler radar images though, near Puerto Rico for today, well, for right now, we are getting in on some moisture across sections of northeastern Puerto Rico into central and southern Puerto Rico. And if we load these images from earlier today, from around 2:45 to 53, you can see when the moisture was coming in from the east southeast, and then it actually, made its way inland to what we just saw earlier. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can make out some rainfall affecting section of St. Lucia, section of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Tobago, getting on some of the moisture. Nothing really affecting Barbados right now, but that could change. If we take a look at the weather Doppler radar images and make out some rainfall just to the east of Belize, pushing into there. Northern Guatemala getting on some rainfall, coastal Honduras as well. Section of eastern Venezuela getting on some isolated shores too. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in agreement that the most rainfall should be where we have the reds, up to 1 inch of rainfall or less. For a portion of the eastern Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, northern Guatemala, Belize, coastal Honduras into eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama into Colombia, we have less rainfall in the greens than the yellows. For portions of central Cuba into almost southeastern Cuba, section of the southern Bahamas, so to section of the Dominican Republic, eastern Puerto Rico. Some rainfall for St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, eastern, southern and western Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana. We have some rainfall, as you can see there, for section of the Cayman Islands as well, and we can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS modes are in agreement with that forecast. Alright, so nothing going on across the Atlantic in terms of tropical systems, nothing across the eastern Pacific or the western Pacific either. But the Joint Typhoon Warning Center now states that we have a new tropical cyclone. It's just right here to the west of Indonesia. We spoke about a code orange yesterday, something that had a medium chance of development within the 7-day time frame. Now it has transformed into tropical cyclone 7S. And if we zoom in on the system, it's right here, spinning clockwise. In the southern hemisphere, they do spin clockwise. In the northern hemisphere, they spin anti-clockwise. So as you can see right here, it is just to the west of Jakarta. Well, Indonesia in general, Jakarta is the capital. As of right now, it is packing 35 knot winds. You know that systems that pack anywhere from 34 to 64 knot winds are classified as tropical storms. So yes, in the southern Indian Ocean they call them tropical cyclones, but it is still a tropical storm right now. And look at the intensity model guidance, expected to increase up to 40 knots by December 12, 50 knots by the 13th day of December, and then back to 45. And as you can see, it's expected to push off towards the southwest. Definitely not affecting any land masses, just the shipping lanes would be affected for sure. Whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.